So my name is Ashley Locklin, and today I am going to be talking to you about curating captivating content. So I know I'm a little bit early. That's because I can only buy myself so much time before my daughter busts through those doors. So I just have to take advantage of this 1 minute. But anyway, I hope that you guys don't hear a big echo because I'm in kind of an empty room. So hopefully you guys can still hear me and it's okay. But this is my favorite part of the business. Hey Elizabeth, hey Brandy, my girls are here. So when you sign on, say hi, give me some hearts, and let me know if you guys can hear me okay and if there's a huge echo. Krista, oh my girls, oh my gosh. Okay, perfect, thank you Brandy. So on Friday, I'm going to talk about how to, I think this is my topic for today. I hope I didn't mix them up. But anyway, I'm going to talk to you guys on Friday about how to really take your activities that you have to do and the activities that you love and use them to fuel yourself. So I want to talk to you today about my favorite part of the business, and that is creating content. Using social media as a platform to kind of get my message and to share my truth and to share my beliefs with you. And that is the prize for me, right? If Beachbody went away and I didn't get paid, I would still be posting this kind of stuff on social media. I would still find joy in curating content. And I know as a new coach, that's kind of scary and intimidating and hard. So I'm gonna share some tips with you what I do. And I wanna say that content, having really amazing content, is what has made me successful. That is directly related to my success. Yes, I send invites, but I truly believe that my invites are only successful because my content is really successful. And here's why. So what you say privately has to align with what you say publicly. So when you send an invite to someone, the first thing they do is go to your page to check you out, to see what your style is, what your vibe is like, what you do. And if they don't like what they see, they're probably not going to respond to your message, or they're not going to join you. And I have a few non-Beachbody examples for you. So first is a graphic designer reached out to me and she said, hey, I'm a graphic designer. Do you need any work done? The first thing I did was went to her social media page, and she's not like us where she's running her business on social media. She was mainly just posting about her family and her, her interests. But I checked her out to see, okay, what is this girl's style and vibe like? Does she match with me? First thing I did. I got an invite from a rodent and fields consultant. She friend requested me and then cold invited me. And I personally totally respect that because I am a straight shooter. I do not like spending a lot of time chit-chatting with people, having conversations, get to the point. So she cold invited me. It was like, have you ever thought about using Rodent and Fields products? First thing I did, go to her page. What do I see there? I see transformation photos that weren't branded with Rodent and Fields, just like I use transformation photos of myself and my team that aren't branded by Beachbody. So I'm like, people are having progress. These are real people. I see her posting about inspiration, and I see her color scheme is very much like mine, and I'm like, this is like my ideal coach, but she's like very into Rodent and Fields. You know what? I love her. I'm gonna buy a lot of stuff off her. And I did. But the next day, what's funny is I got an invite from another Rodent and Fields consultant, and it was a message request. She didn't even friend request me. She just sent me a message request, and it was like, hey Ashley, what are your hobbies and interests? And I was like, this is creepy. Well, why is she asking this? And I go to her page, and it's super salesy, and there's nothing that shows me who she is as a person, and the few things that she does have there, I don't like. So guess what? I feel bad telling you this, but this is what I did. I declined the message. I didn't even accept her message request or respond to her. So that's what you have to remember. The first thing people do when they get a message from you is they check out your page. And if they don't like what they see, they're not gonna respond or accept it. So I make sure that my content is on point before I send those invites. And that is what allows me to have such success. Okay, so your content, what you are posting on social media, has to have a purpose. One of three things, or a few of these mixed together. So number one is every post you make, you want to ask yourself, is this entertaining, educating, or persuading? So number one, entertaining. What does your audience love? My audience loves funny parenting memes, or just like quotes about like funny things about parenting, right? Or they love really cute videos of like me and my daughter. And I strategically use these. So I will post something really funny, and then a few hours later, I'll post something with a call to action to join a challenge group or to learn more about coaching. So that first post is getting tons of engagement, tons of exposure, tons of shares. People are coming to my page, and then they're seeing that follow-up post. And they're seeing, oh, this girl does workout groups and all this cool stuff, right? So I really strategically plan those posts. But entertain. Are you providing your audience with some sort of entertainment? My husband uses Facebook solely for laughter. He has unfriended every single person that does not post funny things. So when he goes on Facebook, it's only people that post funny things. He only goes on Facebook to laugh. So are you providing any sort of fun entertainment, or are you always like challenge group, coaching? Number two is educate. Are you inspiring people? Are you giving them tips, recipes, glimpses of your workouts and telling them like, try this out, how many reps you can do? Are you giving them value, right? We all know how to do that. And then number three, what I really want to focus on is persuading. You want to be a master at persuasion in your posts. That is where all of my success truly comes from. So here's what I do. I focus on people's pain points. I think about my pain points and what my audience, my avatar, is struggling with at this point in time. And those are what I embed in my posts. So my posts are usually longer. They tell stories, they paint a narrative, but they really hit home with people. So for example, lately I've been talking a lot about my thighs because I've been blessed with like thick thighs. And for my whole life, I hated them, but now I'm starting to really love them. So what I recommend you do is create a struggle web. Here's, I quickly drew one for you. So I have one of these for like every aspect of my life, like money, family, parenting, my body, different parts of my body, my relationship with gym, my relationship with food, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I have thighs in the middle, and then these are all different struggles and stories that I plan on sharing in my social media. And so the other day I made a post and I talked about two of these things. So one was that I would be in school and I would look at all the other girls in school to look at their legs and like how much they were like taking up the chairs, and like mine would always be hanging over the sides. Or like when I was driving in a car with my friends, I'd always look to see like as they were driving like how much of their thighs took up the seat. And you may think I'm crazy, but as somebody who's always been super self-conscious of her thighs, that's something I look at. So I shared the specific stories and those specific struggles, and there wasn't even a call to action in that post. And you know what? My inbox blew up. People were like, girl, everything you write is exactly what I think. Girl, I need to get in on these groups that you're running because everything you say is straight to my heart, right? And so that is how I get my people. And then when I do make calls to action and I say, I have a new group starting, if you want to work on this body part, or if you struggle with this, right? And they relate. They're like, this is exactly how I feel. And so they fill out that application and they write like a 5-paragraph essay telling me like all these different ways that they relate to my posts and what I'm saying. So then I don't have to spend a ton of time forming them because they're opening up to me because I've already opened up so much publicly. Okay? And Jennifer, yes, the teacher part is definitely coming out. So you want to do one of these brainstorming webs. This is Easter dress down here, and over here is how I've been trying to thin them, right? So lately I've been talking a lot about Easter dresses in all of my posts because Easter is coming up. And I know that when I used to buy Easter dresses, I always bought something that was black Or I'd wear pants because I was like, I'm not wearing a bright color or spring color or a pattern because I'm not ready for that, right? I haven't started my crash dieting yet, but I've been talking a lot about how you can lose those 5 pounds or 10 pounds even by Easter and look really great. I've been saying how as a new mom, I wasn't in any of those pictures the first year that my daughter was born and how I regret that. And now I'm so passionate about getting other moms in front of the camera this Easter. And then other ones are like how I've tried to thin them, how I used to try running and that didn't work. I was like, hate running. I can't even run like 500 feet without stopping. Or then I went to the gym and I tried to slim them down, but I didn't know what I was doing and they actually ended up getting really bulky. So these are stories that I'm gonna be talking about this week. And I know that I'm gonna get a lot of people who have those same issues. And so then they're gonna get into our groups, they're gonna start doing our Beachbody programs, they're gonna see amazing results, and then they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, I have to share this too, I have to be a coach, right? So I really focus on pain points. What do I struggle with and what do other people struggle with? How can I share specific stories that really, really, really resonate with them? Don't just be like, day 52 of 80, did my workout today, did you? That's not benefiting anybody. That's not inspiring anybody. Nobody cares. So when you make a post, you have to really put your heart into that content and say, how can this speak to someone today? Just one person. And you will be amazed at how many people will reach out to you once you really start opening up and sharing the specific stories and struggles. Okay, so that is how I persuade. So every time I do a workout, and I'll be honest with you, like when I don't feel like doing a workout, I'm like today, don't feel like doing it. I'm like, well, I have to post about it and I have to make a call to action, so I have to do this workout and have a video to post. So that's literally my motivation. So I only work out basically to be able to post about it and to inspire other people. So you have to think, okay, I'm gonna do this workout. How can I share a story or a struggle to speak to people and to let them know that there's something for them to join and why they should wanna do it, why it's in their best interest. Okay, so that is what I do. I always focus on making sure that I'm entertaining, educating, and persuading. So how do I prep my content in my posts? This is a big one. I will tell you that almost all of my posts are prepped in advance. So Saturdays and Sundays are photo shoot days for me and my husband and my daughter. I change our clothes a bunch of times. I take a bunch of different photos in a bunch of different rooms with a bunch of different props. Like I went out and I bought specific blankets and rugs that match my theme, and those are what I use for all of my photos. So I'll just like move them around, change our clothes, and have a drink in one picture and maybe something else in another picture. And so I have all of those pictures prepped in advance. And then I don't have to wake up on a Monday morning and be like, oh my gosh, I have to take a picture, I have to write a post. I already have it done. And then I also pre-write a lot of my content. Sometimes it's on the weekend or sometimes it's the night before. So last night I stayed up late and I wrote all of my posts for today. So they're already ready. I just have to copy and paste them and post them. They're prepped and ready to go because I know I have a busy day today. So it's just about being a little more proactive. When I started coaching, I was working a full-time job. I was going to grad school full-time to get my doctorate, so it wasn't like easy at all. And I was pregnant and we were moving, so I had very little time. So on the weekends, I wrote almost all of my posts for the entire week. And then of course, as things pop up, I will sometimes throw a spontaneous post up there in the moment, but a lot of it is prepped in advance. So if you work and you're like, I'm busy, that's not a good excuse. You can kind of be proactive. I follow a lot of, I don't follow any Beachbody coaches. So even my own team, like this is terrible, but some of my girls will be like, can you give me some input on my social media? And I'm like, yeah, I have to go check it out. I don't follow my coaches or any coaches because they get in my head and then I am like, oh my gosh, I need to write more like them. I need to talk more like them. I need to take more pictures like them. And then I come off as inauthentic and it doesn't work. But I do follow a lot of people who are not Beachbody coaches, who are prominent social media figures, like just mom bloggers, and I look and see, okay, what kind of photos are they taking that are really captivating, that catch my eye and are really popular? And then I take screenshots of those photos, and then I'm like, okay, this weekend I'm gonna try to recreate some of these photos. So it's kind of where I get my inspiration from. I don't use their words, and they're not Beachbody coaches, but that's how I allow myself to kind of be more creative and to get that inspiration. So, and then lastly is my notepad. So the notes app on my phone, I have 5 different notes. So one is for food, one is for coaching, one is for workouts, one is for transformations, and one is just general. And every post I make, I write in that specific notepad. So if I'm gonna share a recipe today, I'm gonna write the post in my food notepad. And then this morning I made kind of a coaching jab. It was a post, so I wrote that in my coaching notepad. Yesterday I wrote my transformation one in my transformation one. And what happens is I just copy and paste. But when I'm kind of at a loss, like this Tuesday, I had a lot going on. I was at a loss for what to say about my transformation. I just scrolled back to a few months ago and copied something that I had written then, and then that's what I posted. So I never just post on social media. I have it all pre-written in my notepad, formatted, saved, and then I can go back and I can repurpose it every few months. So that saves me a lot of time. And I knew that, and I can remember what performs well. So what I posted this Tuesday, I knew that when I used that verbiage, it did really well in October. So I'm gonna reuse it now, and it did pretty well. And then also, don't get so caught up on the likes. I think especially with coaching posts, I just wanna mention this. This is really funny. So the other day I posted a coaching post, and it only got like 30 likes, which is very low for me, but I got 24 requests to join my info group, my coaching info group, from that post. And only 30 people liked it. So not everybody who requested to join the group and is interested in coaching took the time to like it. So if you're only gauging your success by likes, then you're probably having skewed data. So look for other ways to really gauge your success. Okay, so lastly, my posts, what I always do is have a really engaging hook. Your first line has to catch them, and your image or your video has to catch them. So the 2 very most important things to have in your post: 1, a crisp, clear, bright photo or video, and then a hook. And I always think of Fabletics and Lululemon, right? If they, think about what they are putting out on social media. Their advertisements, they're really bright and colorful and engaging, and you see these women who are happy and they look good and they're fashionable, and we want that. That's why we buy those clothes. So think about how you're putting yourself out there. Are you selling the joy? Are you selling the lifestyle that people want? If you are never smiling in your photos and you always kind of look distraught, like nobody's gonna wanna buy into that. So I always think, is this Lululemon or Fabletics ad worthy? And if it is, I post it. If not, it goes into my Insta stories or my Facebook stories. So my posts are like $1 million ads. Like those are what I use to hook people and to really get them to be like, oh, I like this girl, I wanna follow her. And then my stories are behind the scenes, real life, hot mess, the real, true me. And that's also where I make sure I am entertaining. I'm making people laugh every day with funny stories. I'm educating them, I'm sharing tips about how I'm weaning my daughter, what I'm feeding my daughter, what I'm eating myself, and then I'm persuading them. So I'm also in my stories doing these things. So on my posts, I'm doing those 3 things: entertaining, educating, and persuading. And in my stories, I'm doing the same exact thing, but on a much more real and raw level. So I'm hooking them with the good posts, and then they're really relating to me in my stories. Okay, and then I try to include a story in my posts, right? Talking about thighs, what I used to look at, struggles that I've had. And then my real secret sauce is asking a question somewhere in there, and then having a call to action. So like the other day, I posted a workout video and I said, just did this workout, it's gonna get me in great shape for Mexico. Side note, do you think it's safe for me to take my 2-year-old to Mexico? And then I said, okay, and I have a new group starting, so if you want to look bathing suit ready, complete this application to get in my group. So what I did there was I kind of hit a pain point of like wanting to look good in a bathing suit. Everybody wants to do that. I asked a question which boosted engagement. A ton of people responded, and that organically grew my reach. More people saw that post, and then I had that call to action. If you want to look bathing suit ready and do this workout with me, because it was a video, then join. So do you see how I do that? I have a hook, I kind of tell a story that includes a pain point, have a question, and then a call to action. That's pretty much my formula when I make calls to action. I do those things and then I get tons of responses. Okay, so that is how I curate my content. I always think, okay, if I'm gonna send out invites, what post do I need to make in advance so that when people come to my page, they're like, oh, this is what she does. I like this, I like her. I'm always asking myself, what is the purpose of this post? Am I just posting to post, or am I making them laugh, getting more reach, getting people to share my post and come to my page, adding value to the people who already follow me, or am I speaking to the women who need whatever it is I'm offering, whether it's a challenge group or a coaching post? Am I persuading them and realizing what this can offer them? And then I prep on the weekends. I don't follow coaches, but I do follow lots of non-Beachbody coaches for inspiration. And then I'm very specific on my content. And then anytime I see a great quote, I put it in that notepad. So if I'm like, oh, this would be a great coaching post, I type it in. Anytime I'm doing personal development and I hear or read a great quote, I put it in a specific notepad so that when I do sit down to write my posts in advance, I look through and I'm like, oh yeah, I have all these things already written out. Or I saw this girl posted this really funny meme. I'm gonna take the text off that meme and I'm gonna put it with my picture of me, and that's gonna be great. So I'll type it into my notepad and then I have that post ready. So that's how I curate captivating content. People immediately see that first line and they're hooked and they're like, I'm in, and then they see the picture and the video and then they keep reading. So that's a thing, people are always like, I personally write very long posts. And I always have people ask me, do people read those? Yeah, they read them. I have people who are like, I read every single word you write every day. I type in your name to see what you're reading. So if you are speaking to the right people, if you're sharing your truth, if you're being authentic, and if you're really just sharing stuff that people want to hear and see, they're gonna read it. And if they don't, they're not your people. They're not ready to join you in whatever capacity you're trying to get them to join you. So don't worry about them. So that's all I have to share with you. So that is my number one thing. I love coming up with content. It's my favorite thing to do, is to sit down and to write posts and to speak my mind and to think about how I'm gonna stage this photo or recreate this photo. So just find the joy in that, right? Start looking for inspiration, start getting excited about how you're going to spend a little bit of time taking these pictures or writing these posts, and then be more intentional. Because when you send those invites and they go to your page and they like what they see, chances are they're gonna respond to you and they're gonna be way more intrigued with what it is you're inviting them to. All right? If you have any questions, let me know. Happy Wednesday, and I'll see you ladies again on Friday.